Thank you all for joining this discussion. In this video, we will discuss what skills we wished we focused on in high school that would relate to our current careers. So Matt, can you kick us off?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I wish I really focused on in high school was communication. So both oral communication and written communication. So I was actually fortunate enough to have one history class of all classes where we had to write 20 papers throughout the entire year. And it was murder at the time, but I look back at that class and I was so incredibly thankful for it because one, it prepared me well for college because there's a lot of papers that you write in college. And then also going into the business world, what I've found is you don't have to be the smartest one. You have to be smart, obviously, to advance, but the people who distinguish themselves from the rest of the pack are the people who can communicate. And that's both written through email communication or writing papers for work, and both through oral communication in terms of given presentations or really even just talking to others and building a connection. So communication is incredibly important and something that I wish I focused more on back in high school.
Matt, I really could not agree more with what you shared. I'll even extend it to share that it's also just about your ability to articulate your value. So understanding, what it is that you bring to the table and being able to tell people, this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm here to still learn, but communicating your passion and your ability and your skill so that people can understand, this is the type of person that I want to bring into my work environment or my team or even in a social setting. So I absolutely agree. Communication skills, very important. I also would love to share that I think what was an eye-opener for me and looking back at what I wish I knew in high school was just the understanding that all of the skills that you're learning can be applied in very different scenarios if you have a mindset that is open to new experiences and applying those skills in different ways. So I shared earlier, I never thought that I'd be working in technology. Even when I got into communication in college, which was the field that I studied in, still a very different direction, focusing in public relations. I was going to work at an agency and be doing, written communication, social media, things of that nature. But when I got into the technology world, you really see that the skills that you learn, going back to communication as an example, all of those things can help you to work and just refocus in different areas. And so, for example, right now I'm working in enablement and change management, which still allows me to use my communication skills as a foundation. So presentations, talking to executives, talking to employees, talking to customers. But the application is a little different than I initially thought. So I would encourage you all to absorb any and all learnings and skills that you can get right now and continue to think, I might be learning it in this capacity, but how can I apply it to another area that opens up a new world of opportunity?
I love the phrase open mindset because the skill that I wish I had back in high school is kind of a combo of self-learning, which, you go from kindergarten through 12th grade and, your teachers give you a book to read, you're given a report to write, and you never develop that skill or that muscle of, what do you actually want to learn about? What are the different paths that you want to go find and learn more about and read about, and watch every YouTube video there is. And you get to the corporate world, or you get to be an adult, and you're kind of expected to have your own passions where you're supposed to be learning about these things and you share them and you show those values that you have. And you were never kind of given that roadmap before. And tying into that, right, you need the organization piece to be able to kind of understand where your priorities are, right? Again, going back to high school, middle school, like you have homework due tomorrow, you have a test on Wednesday, you're kind of given your entire project plan for the week, or your path for the week, your path for the month, right? The papers due at the end of the semester. And then you get into the real world and it's like, you can do whatever you want, right? You could go, you don't have to do that project, you don't have to do this, right? And it's all up to you. And there's just this sudden independence. And I wish that I had kind of built those skills as well younger on, because it goes from no responsibility to all the responsibility, and that's completely shifted onto yourself, right? That's something I wish I knew when I was younger.
Thank you, Nick. I believe that I can relate a lot to what he just shared, specifically about when you're in high school, you understand when you have an assignment due or a test that's coming up, if the teacher provides a syllabus. A skill I wish I focused on in high school was time management. In school, I was able to finish my homework and studying in either study hall or at home, giving me a lot of free time. But a steep part of my learning curve when I started my career was prioritizing tasks and giving myself enough time to complete that task, but also be mindful of setting time to ask questions and give myself enough buffer if I potentially have a mistake or need to ask for help. Again, I want to thank everybody for sharing their thoughts. And I want to wrap this up by having a quick lightning round where I ask our panelist, what is one phrase that summarizes a specific skill that you wished you focused on? Matt?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with communication.
Gina?
So I'm going to say be open to and understand where your skills can be transferable. And Nick, I'm stealing one from you. Lifelong learning is so incredibly important.
Nick?
I'll keep it easier. Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, pretty much any Microsoft product.
Yes.
This is not a sponsored panel, by the way.
And I'll wrap it up by saying being able to prioritize your tasks and just staying as organized as possible. Thank you.